Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for April 20th. So just a couple of little pieces of housekeeping before I proceed. First of all, I want to thank all of my subscribers. Some have been with me for forever, and I have many new subscribers, and I want to just make a special point of thanking all of you for the support that you give not only the Soulprint Intuitive Tarot channel, but also the Soulprint Insights channel. For those of you who are interested, there is also a Canadian tarot reading that is also being released today, so if you wish, take a look at that. And I would like to mention that there is also on the Soulprint Insights channel a video that is coming out today that talks about this virus, and it talks about sort of the more spiritual aspects of it. It talks sort of about what this thing is bringing, what it is creating, what the intent is, and what the hope is. So if you're interested in checking that out, please do. I think a lot of you are going to find it interesting. I also just want to take a quick moment to thank all of you for your support, but I especially want to thank some of the people who have been very, very generously sending me donations. You just cannot know how much it touches my heart. It's absolutely lovely, and I really, really do thank you. Because they come to me on PayPal, I really don't have a way of sort of personally or individually thanking you unless I manage to, catch your name on the comments feed. But whether I personally thank you or I do it this way, please know from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very, very much. It really is a lovely way, not only to show, appreciation, but to let me know, more important than that, but to let me know that I'm on the right path with you guys, that you continue to get a benefit from what I'm saying and doing. And, that's why I'm here. That's my purpose. So whenever I get that sort of confirmation, that is also just really, really lovely. And so I really do thank you for that. And one final thing, if you are looking for a private reading, if you go in the box below, it will give you my email address. Just send me out an email, and then I will send back to you the information that you need to know for that. And right now, I am booking at the beginning of May. So what do we think is going to happen this week? The week of, I guess, April 19th, since it started yesterday. And what do we think that's going to look like this week in the Trump White House and the Trump administration? The numbers are through the roof. They are almost unfathomable. You can't even comprehend the numbers of cases of coronavirus in the United States. The last time I figured it out, the United States had literally more confirmed cases of COVID-19 than the next 5 countries. So the United States is one. If you add up the next 5 countries, add their numbers together, and that includes like France and China, I believe, and Germany, who also have very large populations, okay? Yeah, the United States beats them all. So, the numbers are getting harder and harder, I think, for people to sort of be able to just grasp in some ways, and in some ways for the government to continue to try to deflect from. So, let's take a look at how Trump and his administration are going to handle the coming week. Come on down, because I have that question. Okay, and just as an aside, for those of you who are looking at my little sweater today and thinking it's lovely, and it absolutely is. It is one of my very favorite sort of spring summers because it is, lightweight and right. But it actually goes down to my ankles. This thing sweeps the ground. And it is one of my absolute favorites. Just as a little fashion aside, let's focus on Trump now, shall we? And let's focus on what we can anticipate in this coming week from him and his administration. So, Trump this week, USA. Trump this week, USA. Trump this week, USA. A little bit more room here. And here we go. Okay. So, it is a very interesting sort of thing or energy that is going on in the United States and that you can anticipate continuing in the United States this week. There is a real attempt to do two things from Trump's perspective, okay? The first one is to keep a lid on whatever information that is not helpful to him, to keep controlled and hidden anything that may trigger an emotional sort of backlash against him, if you will. And one of the ways that he is doing that is he is on this little ridiculous, dangerous stunt that he's pulling these days, having to do with, come on, people, get out there and protest and liberate yourself from your Democratic governors who will not fall in line. You know, you have people out there who are spouting his nonsense. You know, they're talking about that drug that is giving people heart attack, but Trump keeps promoting. They're talking about the fact that this is a joke, the fact that this isn't real, it's a made-up emergency. You know, Trump is just so picked on, it's not fair. He is really amplifying that energy of, come on, get out there and fight. Like, come on, you know, let's really start getting people upset and wound up. And the thing that is astounding to me is that the very people who believe what he says are just statistically the very people who are going to end up in a bad way as a result of this, because they're not doing the things that they need to do to keep themselves safe and separate. Yeah, and what is that, right? Is that old attitude of me versus we? Is it that attitude of, I think he's like the second best thing since, you know, the second coming of Christ, and nothing he can do or say is wrong? Is it that he just is really good at feeding into their fears, that if things stay shut down long enough, they're going to lose whatever they do have? And the sadness of all of this is that the people that are out there, for the most part, are the ones that have the least they can afford to lose, but are going to lose the most. And often that looks like it could very well not only be their lives, unfortunately, but their health. So you can anticipate him continuing to try to amp up this toxic energy, because he really, really needs to keep on sending this red meat to his base, and he needs to create distractions, because more and more information is coming out that really, really is putting him and his administration in a bad light. More information is going to be coming out about selling the stockpiled goods to other countries. More information is going to be coming out about, I almost want to say, the purchasing power of the United States sort of almost being really taken advantage of willingly, because maybe Trump is trying to increase the coffers of either some American companies or certainly some foreign friends. There's going to be more of that sort of information coming out. There's going to be information coming out. Okay, a lot of money information this week, people, a lot. And honestly, his attempts to steal it, his attempts to reroute it, redirect it, create abundance where he wants abundance kept. So this could be a very volatile week in terms of some new information coming out, new reporting coming out. And it's not going to be good news for him. And because it's not going to be good news for him, the White House is sort of going to go into like overdrive to try to distract from this information that is so not helpful to him. It really starts to call into question exactly what the heck he has been doing, and by extension, what his administration has been sort of allowing him to get away with. So you've got the Four of Cups here indicating that in many ways, the opportunities that he had to stabilize things, to comfort, to even appear remotely human, he has squandered them. They have been given to him over and over again, and he refuses to look at them. He doesn't want to hear anything that he doesn't want to hear, because that upsets him. It angers him. And so there you have it, right? He just doesn't want to hear it. He's like that little child who is being told, you have to go take your afternoon nap. He doesn't want to hear it. He's going to do whatever he can to distract. And the more information that comes out that is not in a good light for him, the worse it's going to sort of get. Yeah, so it is always helpful when dealing with Trump to remember that he sees victory coming as a result of appearing to be strong and in control. So he really likes those strongman techniques and tactics, and literally defying the law, defying reason, defying logic. That's what he does, okay? Because in part, it's because he doesn't even understand it, okay? He doesn't understand the law. He doesn't understand when things are logically or chronologically put before him. It's not actually something, it feels as if his brain really isn't very good at doing, so it overwhelms him. So the way he behaves to being overwhelmed is he starts bullying and yelling and screaming and making outrageous statements and, banging his fist. And of course, the latest one is, riling people up so that there are now literally protests in the street, and these people do not seem to understand that ultimately is going to be what brings them down. And he's not smart enough to understand that it's a really dumb idea to kill the people who vote for you. But again, he doesn't want to hear what he doesn't want to hear. He really lives in that bizarre little kaleidoscope colored bubble. Yeah. Okay. The numbers are going to continue to increase Okay, I wish there was a way I could soft sell that. You're going to see numbers sort of diminishing or leveling out in the areas sort of that were first hit. So New York, you're going to see those numbers continuing to drop. Areas that are just at the beginning stages of this, or the early stages of this, let me put it that way, are going to see their numbers continue to increase. And unfortunately, the areas of the country where they have not yet or were unbelievably slow to enact the stay-at-home orders, they are going to start seeing some real skyrocketing numbers, maybe not this week, but certainly in the next coming weeks. Things are going to start really, really spiraling for them because, again, nothing is going on that is protecting these people. And frankly, even if they have started it at this point, what is that expression? A day late and a dollar short. So they're going to get hit. They're going to start seeing the actual effect of their reluctance to do what was smart 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago. So you can anticipate some real upheaval coming from the states, especially those who are in partnership with or in bed with Trump and or the Republican strategy or nonsense that's going on here. For those of you who live in those states, continue to do everything you can to keep yourself safe, keep yourself as protected as you can, because even though there are those around you who are not doing what they should do, you have the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, and the information to keep yourself safe. And so please, please do that to the very, very best of your ability. A lot of my subscribers are around my age, so we've sort of entered the fall, the autumn, if you will, of our lifetimes. And, we by now, really, most of us probably do have pre-existing conditions or some risk factors. So do what you can, stay safe, and continue to keep yourself as protected, not only physically, but energetically and emotionally as you can. Again, more information is going to come out about him and what he does and how he conducts himself. And it's going to be bad. Okay, it's going to be bad. And the government is actually going to really start to push back against him. There's going to be enough emotional instability this week that you're actually going to see some significant pushback, whether that is from governors, whether that is from senators, and he is actually going to start experiencing some pushback from within his own party. A lot of it is not going to be public. A lot of it's going to be behind the scenes, but it is there because what is happening is emotions are getting too riled. And while he sees that as a really good thing, just the same way he sees getting all those people wound up at his rallies is a really good thing, in the grand scheme of what is going on right now, it's not going to be well received, okay? So yeah, more information coming out about money, and it looks like there's going to be more information coming out about not only, I don't know, like the next aid package, but there's also going to be some really some information that does not put that administration in a very good light about where the money went and how it got spent and who got it. Because again, the irony of this entire thing when it comes to Trump and his administration is the fact that they don't seem to understand that the very people who need to vote for him and them in the next election are the ones who stand to lose the most. They can afford to lose the least, but they're going to lose the most because they are believing the rhetoric, and they are actually convinced that what he says is right, and they don't need to social distance, they don't need to wear masks, they don't need to not be in crowds. They don't believe it. Or they do believe that what he says is the truth. And even when he mitigates it, when he says, okay, well, in a couple weeks, or when I see 14 days of decreasing numbers, they kind of don't hear that. They hear all the crap that he says before that, and kind of all the crap that he says after it. And so they get a very, very skewed, if you will, message or understanding of what's actually reality and what's going on out there. And at some point, these very people, not all of them, but enough of them, are really, really going to start pulling back their support when they have to start burying friends and family. So, yeah, this is going to be a week where you're going to see the numbers continuing to be quite frightening. You're going to get more information about what was going on behind the scenes, dark money, business deals that are being made, that kind of stuff. And unfortunately for right now, it looks like things are going to continue to spread. So the virus is going to spread. It's going to continue to. I mean, you are such a big country, and there are so many pockets of your country that really, really are at the early stages of this, that maybe in the bigger city centers, things are going to start to slow down in some areas, but in some, there are still going to be a lot of hot spots, and unfortunately, more hot spots are going to kind of come to the surface this week. And that, again, is going to create friction and stress and anxiety, and he is going to get asked some hard questions, and he doesn't like hard questions. So guess what? He's going to push back, and he's going to continue to, act the fool, because that is what he does. However, you can anticipate to get some comforting messages, some messages of hope from, again, this is my newest card for Joe Biden. So I'm seeing that there's going to be some information coming out from him. There may be some, more comforting commercial ads coming out or that kind of thing. You're going to see, make no mistake, the Democrats are working incredibly hard at continuing to roll things out, continuing to strategize, and honestly, continuing to try to get the facts out there, even to those who really choose not to listen. So, the course of this, as this has unfolded, the Democratic Party is as strong as it has ever been. They are so united. And that is going to be a very, very good thing, because as more people start to assess exactly what the heck has been going on in their country, they're going to be looking for some guidance, some insight, just some information that is helpful to them. Again, a lot of people already have that information. They already have that insights because they've been pretty clear-eyed for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Some of them, however, are just having their eyes opened, and those also those are the people who are going to move away from kind of the story Trump is selling, and they're going to try to move into an area that just honestly seems a little less chaotic. That's the thing that Trump doesn't understand. He never ever understands that when things get really chaotic, people really, really start to sort of pull back and hunker down. We don't like it. Just as people, we don't like it when our lives get really chaotic. And the more of this crap he stirs up, the more he's actually going to lose support. So, yeah, there we have it. But do expect some more protests, and honestly, and expect really dumb stuff coming out of the mouths of the people at these protests. There's some of them are so ill-informed. It is truly frightening. I mean, for me personally, I think the thing that really astounds me is, okay, so this is the thing, right? You can really like Trump and you can really think he's amazing. But when the whole world, when everybody else is all singing the same story, every other country is all saying the same thing. And some of these people just have the ability to walk away from the facts, walk away from reality, and continue with this, oh, Trump is picked on and he's the only one who's right. What is it about some people that allows them to actually go down a road like that? Because again, they are ultimately, not only are they being victimized right now by an incredible misinformation process that is going on right now, whether that is coming from foreign bad actors, whether that is coming from their own White House. They're so ill-informed and they seem completely unable to take in accurate information. Okay, so there's kind of that sort of what it looks like for you in the week ahead. Now, I've been asking the pendulum some questions because, again, there's been a lot of sort of questions or concerns that are coming up about what this looks like as it unfolds in terms of Trump and his ability to be elected or reelected, and what that kind of looks like. Things are becoming more unsettled because the whole energy within your country and globally is becoming more unsettled and more agitated. So in some ways, it's harder to get a bit of a clearer of a read. So I'm going to be using my pendulum. For those new to the channel, this particular pendulum, when it is ready to be asked the initial questions, it's going to go back and forth. As you can see, it's already doing. Pendulum, show me yes. And you can see the back and forth is yes. And pendulum, show me no. And you can see it's shifting into a round and round. You may feel or notice that my hand is moving slightly, and that is simply because of the momentum from the pendulum. Pendulums that have longer sort of chains tend not to move the hand so much, but because I'm filming this, I want you to be able to see the movement, so I'm using a small one. You will also notice that the pendulum responds quite quickly to me. Most of mine do because I am very connected to them and I work with them a lot. So I asked a couple of questions before I started to record this, and I'm simply going to ask the questions again, and I'll let you know if I get an answer other than the answer I initially received. So, pendulum, are we ready to go? Yes, we are. My first question: does Donald Trump have a better than 30% chance of being reelected in November of 2020? And you're seeing that's a circle, so that's a no. Is Joe Biden going to be the 46th president of the United States? And that is a yes. My next question was, is Joe Biden going to remain healthy enough to get through the 4-year term that he has committed to doing or having. And that is a yes. I am not seeing him getting really, really sick. For sure, it's going to exhaust him. He is going to be worn out through this process because he is taking on an absolute disaster. But I'm not seeing him getting sick, and nor am I seeing Trump winning his election. But this was the really interesting question I asked. Is there a better than 70% chance of Donald Trump trying to or accomplishing fleeing the country? And you can see this thing has started moving even before I finished answering the question, because of course it reads my energy, so it knows kind of the question that I'm asking. So that was really interesting to me, and I got to tell you, I kind of wasn't expecting that. So you've got a better than 70% chance of Trump leaving the country. So then I asked, is he likely to do that between the time of the election in November and the inauguration in January? Is that the most likely window where he could attempt to do this? And that is a yes. So, resounding defeat, humiliated, gets on a plane and says, "The hell with you." I guess it's not impossible. Is Nancy Pelosi at any time going to be the President of the United States? And that, again, is a really, really definite no. I'm trying to think. There was one more question I asked, and now I can't. Is something really significant likely to happen to Donald Trump at the sort of the end of June and going into July, in that sort of early, if you will, summer period? Is he going to experience some sort of a significant event? And that's a huge yes. Is this event going to affect him mentally, emotionally, or physically? So this event is something that is going to impact him personally, okay? This is not something that's going on in the energy around him. Is Donald Trump likely to become significantly sick or seriously sick? And that is also a yes. I wish no harm on anybody. I don't think it would be beautiful irony if he got sick from this. Okay, maybe a little bit I do. But so that's where we are. So those are some interesting answers. Again, it's picking up the current energy. Everything has the ability to change and shift. But I have to tell you, these answers have been really very consistent for quite a while now. Okay, so that's it for now. Again, thank you so very much for all of the support to both of my Soulprint channels. Again, if you're interested, check out the Soulprint Insights channel today with regards to that information in terms of the vibrational shift that we're experiencing on the planet and how the role COVID plays in that. Until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.